And you can see that they gaze lovingly at the Knight of Coins. Hey there, this is Ina from Taproot Tarot, and today I wanted to tell you about the first time I interpreted a spread by looking at the interactions between the different cards. Now, prior to that, I really had been looking up individual meanings for each individual card and just reading the meaning separately for each one. And in fact, this reading was for a journal entry where each entry, was separate subject and had a separate, spot to write down my interpretation. So I decided, after studying how to read the cards more organically and visually, to lay them out in a grid on my table. And that allowed me to see the interactions between the cards, and that it just really clicked for me in that moment. Because of that click, I made sure to write down which deck I used and the layout so that I could recreate it, and I made notes about it in that journal entry. So I'd like to tell you about that. I was reminded about it from Diane from Indigo Moon Woman, where she talked about Enrique Enriquez's concept of eye rhymes, and it was a really great video. I recommend checking that out. What that reminded me of was how I interpreted the different gazes primarily. But it isn't just about where the eyes are going, on the cards, on the face cards. It's just about where your eyes go and, how the different shapes draw your eyes across the spread and what paths those take. So for more details, definitely check out Diane's explanation. She's way better at it than I am. But I did see in the documentary about Enrique Enriquez. It's free somewhere on YouTube. I can't remember the title of it off the top of my head, but it's really interesting, and it interviews a lot of well-known figures in the tarot world. So if you can find it, definitely check it out. It's very cool. Today, though, this is my fourth video in 5 days, I think. This is a brand new channel, and I just want to reassure everyone I'm not gonna be putting out this many videos all the time. I just wanted to fill out the content a little bit when I first started my channel, so that if people do come to check it out, hopefully, there will be something to check out. My main purpose for starting this channel, number one, is that I love the Tarot Tube community, or the tarot community in general. I've been a bystander for quite some time from my personal account, and so I was excited to start interacting more. The other reason is that I have some professional projects on my to-do list that would benefit from me getting better at being on camera, which I clearly need a lot of help with, a lot of practice at, I should say, and getting better at editing and things like that. So thus far, I have read literally 0 of the instructions for this camera that I'm using. So hopefully, as I slow down a little bit, I will stop and take the time to actually read the instructions and learn to use my camera properly. And the video editor I'm using is just a really, basic one that's on my laptop. And I am just learning by doing. So I'm not very good at it yet, but I plan to get better. And so I thought, I may as well take a hobby that I really enjoy and I'm really interested in to energize me to get good at this skill that will benefit my professional life. So yeah, that's just a good multitasking little trick that I'm doing, I guess. And that will take away one more barrier to getting those professional goals done if I can achieve, improving those skills while pursuing a hobby that I enjoy. So thank you for being here. I'm going to turn the camera around and show you the journal that I'm working with. It's the Ritual Tarot Planner. This is the second or third time I've bought it. I know it's not the ideal way for a lot of folks to practice. It really helps me, though, to give some structure to my tarot practice and just remember, oh yeah, I have this journal entry that I need to do, that I want to do. And it's just kind of motivating for me instead of having to decide my own practice each and every day. Maybe someday I'll grow out of it, but for now it's been really helpful. So I'll show you that. I'm obviously not getting anything to promote the journal, I just really like it. And then I'll show you my spread and we'll go from there. Here is the Ritual Planner that I've been working with, and it's been really helpful to me. Like I said, it just has some pre-made formats that I do find really helpful. The spread that I'll be talking about was the month ahead spread. And at some point in the past, I did this spread, but instead of interpreting the cards separately with their own individual interpretations, the way this is laid out, I did put them on the table in a format that allowed me to interpret their interactions as well. And like I said, when that clicked for me, I made sure to make notes of it on my journal entry so that I could go back and check it out and learn from it in the future. So you can see that these different entries are energy of the month, love, money, work, health, and spirit. And the deck that I was working with that day was the Spanish Tarot by Fournier. It's a beautiful deck. And I laid out the 6 cards in a 6-block spread. And I will just place each of the spread meanings on top of the card for you so we can keep track of what we're doing here. The Hermit was energy this month. The World is love or emotional connections. 2 of Batons is money. Knight of Coins is work. The King of Swords is health. And the 4 of Cups is spirit. And the couple of months prior to this one, I had really been doing a lot of work in my professional life that really put myself out there. I had accomplished a lot, and so it really made sense and was kind of a relief that the energy of the month was the Hermit, indicating that it was time to focus more inwardly and toward my more homeward, I guess, on self-reflection, and maybe working on trainings from home instead of so much outward work. And love or emotional connections with the World, I had been helping a family member out, but I had pretty much done all that I could and reached a place of harmony with regards to that situation. And, I was just at a point where I wasn't stressing about it anymore, and that left some emotional space opened up for other areas. And you can see that they gaze lovingly at the Knight of Coins, maybe indicating, putting some emotional connection into my work. And the Knight of Coins, for me, it was about cultivating the will to put my ideas into action. And the Knight looks past the coin up at the World, who is representing love, for emotional connection. And it's kind of a reminder that my work has heart to it, and it's about more than making a living. And there could be an indication here with the money, not just interpreting the meaning of the 2 of Batons, but that the shape of the X is a barrier, that money perhaps is a barrier between doing work that has, more of an emotional connection for me. So this is perhaps, if we're going in order this way, the X could be a barrier. Money could be a barrier between love and work. And then the King of Swords in health could maybe indicate making mindful, mature choices for health. And the King gazes at the 4 of Cups, which is spirit, because he knows that my health forms the foundation for my higher ideals. And then the 4 of Cups in health represents being in a place of emotional stability, which supports my higher ideals. But as these plants kind of break out of that structure that the 4 of Cups are forming, maybe that indicates that breaking out of routines will let me expand in my spiritual growth. Here, let me zoom this in just a bit so you can see these a bit better. And I know that these connections that I made were nothing earth-shattering, but up until that point, I had really been relying on looking at meanings and interpreting each card individually. For me, it was big, and, it was a starting point for growth. And I'd be excited to hear any similar experiences that you've had. Like I said, it's maybe not earth-shattering, but it was a really cool moment to just feel that click in my brain. So I'd love to hear about how that has happened for any of you as well. I really appreciate your watching. Thank you so much. And I'll talk to you soon.